Albert Einstein is one of the most intelligent minds the world has ever seen. Albert Einstein was a theoretical physicist whose contributions to quantum mechanics, statistical mechanics, and his development of special relativity and general relativity. The world has never stopped thinking about Albert Einstein, arguably one of the century's greatest minds. Now, scientists who have re-examined his brain, whose brain was preserved after he died in 1955, was capable of such prodigious mental feats as conceiving the theory of relativity and other laws of physics. But Einstein wasn't always a genius. As a child, he was a late developer and only started speaking when 3 years old. Einstein became deeply religious at age 12, even composing several songs in praise of God and chanting religious songs on the way to school. This began to change, however, after he read science books that contradicted his religious beliefs. His marks showed that he excelled in mathematics and physics, but he failed at French, chemistry, and biology. In 1939, Einstein learned that two German chemists had split the uranium atom. He wrote to US President Franklin D. Roosevelt that this application of scientific knowledge could lead to Germany's development of an atomic bomb, and he urged the United States to begin its own research. His suggestions led to the creation of the Manhattan Project and the first two atomic bombs it spawned in 1945. Einstein was saddened when he heard of the destruction caused by the two nuclear bombs dropped on Japan, and later campaigned for a ban on nuclear weapons. Scientists are still finding new uses for Einstein's work today. Einstein developed a refrigerator design that received a US patent in 1930. Einstein died of a ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm on April 18, 1955. He was 76. While most of Einstein's body was cremated shortly after his death, Harvey removed Einstein's brain from the autopsy suite for further study without initial permission from the family. After dissecting and photographing Einstein's brain, some of it was carefully sliced. Harvey stored much of the preserved brain in a jar in a cider box. Harvey, who later lost his medical license after failing an exam, thought mere neuroanatomy and cellular structure alone could help define genius. His grand conclusion: Einstein's brain looked different from most brains, ergo it must have functioned differently. In the 1990s, Harvey found himself back in Princeton, where he donated the remaining portion of the brain to a pathologist at the University Medical Center of Princeton, Hull. Over the course of 40 years, the brain had traveled across the United States, and pieces had been shipped overseas. But now it's back in the very same hospital where Einstein died over 50 years ago. The first anatomical study of Einstein's brain was published in 1999 by a team led by Sandra Whitelson. Whitelson's team found that Einstein's parietal lobes, which are implicated in mathematical, visual, and spatial cognition, were 15% wider than normal parietal lobes. The team also found other unusual features in the parietal region, although some of these were questioned by other researchers at the time. One parameter that did not explain Einstein's mental prowess, however, was the size of his brain. At 1230 grams, it fell at the low end of average for modern humans. While this seems like a logical enough assumption, the fact is that brain size and cognitive power are not linked. Look at a whale, for example. A sperm whale's brain is over 50 times bigger than a human's. Weight has little correlation with intelligence. In fact, a sperm whale's brain weighs 17 pounds. An elephant's a little over 10, whereas a human's weighs about 3 pounds and accounts for approximately 2% of the total body weight. But if you don't believe any of this and want to see for yourself, Einstein's brain can be found in all its glory at the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia, as well as in the British Museum, where 2 of the 140 slices of his brain are on loan.